Hi, today I am going to be showing you how to arrange fractions, decimals, and percentages in order, starting from the lowest. But first we need to find where the questions are. You can find them on land, under the sea, and up the air. Let's start with land. There's a door. Let's try to open it. So we've got our questions. We're going to take them out and arrange them in order. So you've got a combination here of decimals, fractions, percentages. We just need to put them all in one form so that it will be easy to compare. Either put them all as decimals or as fractions or as percentages. I will put them all as decimals. I find that easier for this particular question. So you have 0.2, that's already a decimal. So we could just leave it as that. And so we could just write down 0.2 here. And 3/8, so you have 3/8, that's a fraction. We need to change that fraction into decimals. To change fraction to decimals, we divide the numerator by denominator. So you have 3 divided by 8. So 8 doesn't go into 3, so that's 0. So put a decimal point here and you add another 0. So carry over the 3. 8 goes into 33 times, so that's 24. And you have a 6 remainder. 8 goes into 67 times, and that's 56, 4 remainder. So put another 0. 8 goes into 45 times. So 3/8 is 0.375. So put that down. And 30% is just 30 over 100, or that's 0.3. 1/4 we know already is 0.25 and 0.17. Okay, so arrange them in order. So look at the numbers. Look at the tens place first for decimals, because you haven't got any whole number here. So you have 0.2. The next one is 0.3, so 0.2 is definitely smaller. And next we have 0.3, that's a lot bigger than 0.2. 0.25 is also bigger. And you have 0.17. So 0.17 is the smallest there. So we're going to put 0.7 to the front. So we're going to put that down here. And we're just going to cancel that out. So we won't look into that again. So the next one is 0.2, which is here. So put that next to it. So that's the second lowest. No, the lowest is 0.17 followed by 0.2. So the next one is 0.25, which is 1/4. And cross that out. Followed by 0.3, which is 30%. So take that down and cross that out. And followed lastly by 3/8, which is 0.375. So now you have your numbers arranged in order from the lowest. So the lowest is 0.17, followed by 0.2, 1/4, 30%, and 3/8. So we're going to put these numbers back into its place so that we could go for the next question. And we're just going to close that door. And there you go, and get rid of these working outs. So now we're going to go under the sea. We're going to fish out all these numbers and then put them up so that we could work on them. So now we have 73% up there, and 2/3, 0.9, 3/4, and you have 0.87. Now we're going to change them all to decimals so it'll be easier to compare. 73% is 0.73. So we're going to write that down. Hold on a moment. So you have 0.73. 2/3 is if you divide 2 divided by 3, you will get 0.6 repeating. Or round it off, you'll get 0.67. Then you have 0.9. So just copy that as it's already a decimal. 3/4, as we know, 3 divided by 4 will give you 0.75. And you just copy the last one, 0.87. Now there's no whole number, so let's look at the tens place. So let's see which is the lowest. So starting from the first one, you have 0.7, 0.6, this is smaller. 0.9 is bigger. 0.7, that's bigger as well. And 0.87. So the smallest one here is 0.67, which is 2/3. So we're going to cross that out and bring down 2/3 here. So that's going to be the first one. That's the lowest. Next, we're going to look at the next number. So you have 0.73, 0.9. So 0.73 is smaller, and the rest are bigger. So 0.73. So that is 73%. So 73% follows 2/3, and we're just going to cross that out. Next one, you have 0.9, 0.7, and 0.87. So the next smallest one is 3/4. So cross that out, and followed by 0.87, and then the last one is 0.9. So that is the order of your values from the lowest to the highest. Now, so let's put them all back to C, and let's look at where the next one is. So the next question should be up the air, so we'll just get rid of the workings. So let's search the skies. So there's a cloud there, so it might be behind it, and they are. So let's put the cloud somewhere safe and pull down all these numbers. So you got that one there, and the next one, and third, fourth, and the last one. So let's look at these numbers. For this question, I think it's easier to make them all percentages this time. Okay, so let's have a look. 19/20, 11/10, 0.9, 1.2, and 101%. Okay, to change fraction to percentages, we'll have to make the denominator 100. So if you have 19, so you have 19/20. How can we make the denominator 100? So we're going to multiply the denominator by 5, because 20 times 5 is 100. Do the same to the top. So times 5. So 19 times 5 will give you 95. So 19/20 is 95%. Okay. So we're just going to write down under 19/20, 95%. Now for 11/10, so you have 11/10. You're going to make the denominator 100. So we're going to multiply 10 by 10. You also do the same to the top. So 11 times 10 is 110. That means you have 110%. Now 0.9 is easier, because you just multiply that by 100. That will give you 90%. And 1.2, you multiply that by 100, you get 120%. And you have 101 as the last one. Okay, so we're going to arrange them in order now. So the lowest one here is 90%, and that is 0.9. And just cross that out. Followed by 95%, which is 19/20. Followed by 101%, which is 101%. There. And the next one is 110, which is 11/10. Cross that out. And the last one is 1.2, which is 120%. And those are your values arranged from the lowest to the highest. I hope you enjoy this fun video, and thank you for watching.